In this video, you're going to learn when and when not to approach the net in your singles matches. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm mehrban from Tennisfiles, where I teach you the latest strategies and techniques to help you improve your tennis game. And I've interviewed hundreds of the top tennis pros and coaches in the world on my podcasts and online tennis conferences. And today I'm going to analyze 8 points from a singles match between two 4.5 tennis players. And in particular, you're going to see that a make or break aspect of many points is whether you take advantage of short ball opportunities to approach the net and then make the right choice where to hit the approach shot. Big thanks to Tennis Troll for the match footage. You should definitely check out their match videos and subscribe to their channel. Now, I really enjoy watching players battle it out on their YouTube channel. It can be really fun watching players who are closer to your level of play sometimes rather than the top pros. Question of the day. Before we start taking a look at these singles points, I want you to answer this question in the comments section. What is the ideal time to approach the net? Now post your answer down below and let us know. All right, now let's jump straight into these singles points. Now I'm going to change it up a little bit from the previous video by showing you the point first in its entirety and then analyzing it. And this was a suggestion that I recently received from a viewer, so let me know if you like this format.
All right, so I'm going to let this first point play out for you all to see it, and then we're going to make some comments. All right, so now let's run that back and let's make a few comments here. All right, so we've got the serve somewhat into the body, you got the backhand return, the forehand. That I would have liked to have been a backhand, or I'm sorry, a forehand. As you can see in this point, you have plenty of time to run around, hit the forehand, which you'll see he'll do later on, but for whatever reason, he's committed to the backhand here. So he hits that, and he knows that it's not a great shot. As you can see, he slaps his thigh a bit. We'll just call him white shorts. And it's short and in the court, a little bit of a miss hit. So Subhash does a great job of hitting the inside, well, yeah, an inside-out forehand into the backhand here, putting him on the defensive right away. And then he follows it up with another shot to the backhand, which I like as well, to get him even deeper onto that side. Now here, I don't really like what happened here because Subhash had the advantage by pinning white shorts to the ad side far back, and then he hits it very short. As you see, it bounces right around here, so the point is effectively reset now. And then what you'll see here, it's a little bit surprising. We see the shot here, a little bit of an awkward one, tough ball, and then this white shorts actually comes into the net here. So I want you to take note of a couple things with this particular approach. So we have the player comes here and is hitting the shot here and then decides to approach the net. While this is certainly a surprising play, but it doesn't really work out and isn't optimal because then we're going to see, he's outside of the service line by the time he's split stepping to hit the ball, and then because of that start there, he is ending up to hit a really tough half volley that he hits behind him, which I would have liked to see him move forward, lunge, and take a normal volley. Obviously rack it out in front of him. So now imagine if the approach shot would have been taken with him standing on the baseline, hitting it, the shot inside the court, then he would have had a more comfortable volley and he would have been inside of the service line. Instead, the approach shot here that is taken is pretty far back, and as a result, he has a tough shot. And Subhash does a great job of setting up the next shot. A lot of times we try to go for the pass immediately, whereas I think the better play is to hit a nice dipper, force the individual to hit the ball up. So even if he was able to hit a half volley successfully, it would go upwards instead of hitting a downward volley, and then Subhash would be able to, come in and then probably hit a pass. So lesson 1 here is to approach the net from an offensive position. You certainly don't want to be hitting approach shots from back here and then deciding to approach the net unless there's some rare case where the opponent is way off the court, and then in that case, you can come in. But here, Subhash is already, in comfortable position when the decision is made to actually hit this approach shot, and then unfortunately have a very tough shot. Hitting behind you by your back foot is not going to be very successful. All right, so the second point, let's play this one out for you all, and then we will make some comments. All right, so there's your point for you all to check out, and this was a suggestion from one of my audience members to play out the point first. So hopefully you enjoy this format, or let me know what you think. But so, all right, we have a serve into the body. So this again, I would have liked a forehand. It's just statistically shown that when you are hitting more forehands, you're winning more points. More points are won on forehand. So, it could be the rare case that maybe Subhash favors his backhand, but obviously, clearly, Subhash was in the position to hit a forehand, right here, just to take a couple steps. And I know my strength is my forehand, so I would definitely be moving over and then pummeling the ball to my opponent's backhand here. But Subhash takes the backhand and he hits it to the backhand, which is good. Could have been a little deeper, but obviously it's tough to always hit that perfect deep ball. So, and then we have a forehand here. I like that he went to the backhand. As you're going to see, he's going to yield a short ball, and then Subhash is going to be sprinting upwards. And I like that he made this choice here to just hit the approach shot cross court. And what I like, a couple things about it, obviously you do make the opponent go on the run. And granted, it is a forehand. However, the opponent still is on the other side of the court slightly. And what I like most about it is that if you think about it, when Subhash is sprinting upwards, what is the easier shot for him to execute that is higher percentage? Is it going to be, the cross court, or is it going to be this inside out forehand slice? Obviously, there's a much, much greater chance that an inside out slice approach would be hit wide and hit out. And it's obviously a lot more uncomfortable of a ball, and Subhash would have to be a little bit wider to the left in order to create the space to hit that inside out forehand slice. So the slice low, hitting it, cross court here, it's good. And then what I also really like about it is that Subhash, he knows that he should be shifting to the left a little bit to anticipate that down the line. He anticipated very well that the pass would probably go down the line. So we see the sprint, the nice slice for approach, and then the shift to the left. So that's excellent. So the lesson here is to play the more natural approach shot when on the run. It's a higher percentage shot. Make them hit the passing shot. The more shots you make, the higher percentage chance you have of winning the point. So well done in this point. All right, now let's let this point play out. All right, so as Darren Cahill would probably say, well done, mate. If you're Australian, please don't write me hate emails, but let's take a look and make some comments. So we got the serve out wide. Love it. I love out wide serves on the deuce side, if you're a righty, obviously. And then serve +1, pretty well done. You've got the deep forehand pushing Subhash back, making him hit a backhand. Subhash does a pretty good job of getting the ball, back somewhat deep. Could have been a little deeper, of course. But now what I really like is individual on the far side is going to hit this forehand very nice. And what he does a brilliant job of here, and I know I've been giving more props to Subhash for the first couple points, is that he recognizes immediately that Subhash is on the run here. Big chance he's going to yield up a slice, a weaker slice. So what does he do? He runs into the net, splits, and then hits, a relatively easy backhand volley here. And it's very difficult now to retrieve that. So the lesson here is to recognize when your opponent is out of position and move forward. I know in my previous videos, the players have been a couple times where they've hit similar shots and they've just stayed in this baseline area, hanging out, waiting for the ball to come to them. And this is a big mistake. I think I mentioned it before, but a lot of great coaches like Emilio Sanchez, who I interviewed on the Tennis Files podcast that I host, he says that you have to be the one who is making the moves and going to the ball. Don't let the ball just come to you. So this is a great example. Again, I just want to replay it one more time, this last segment where inside out forehand, very nicely done here. Subhash is on the run and then immediately comes up, splits, backhand volley. Great stuff. Great stuff there. All right, point 4, let's play it out. Okay, that was obviously a tough point there at the end, but we'll obviously get to that. So let's run it through. Got a pretty nice return here. Nice reply, good forehands, nice backhand. And then so we get, Subhash hits this kind of a shorter slice. He wasn't too aggressive with it. And so as a result, we have a short ball here. And so what happens is that White Shorts, he hits the shot, right? And then he hesitates, unfortunately. And this is what puts him at a disadvantage and makes him lose the point, as you'll see, because he kind of moves up a little and then he goes back and thinks about it. And then now he has to run back and then he misses the shot. So let's just take a look here again at what's going on. So we get the short ball. It's short. At this point you have several options, obviously. I mean, you can just choose to pummel the ball to the backhand and then just like stay around the baseline. You could move up very aggressively and hit this shot to the forehand corner. With this one, the backhand, it's kind of a tough call. I think you can go either way on this, but what I don't want somebody to do is to waste precious time in the middle of no man's land by hitting this ball here and then, hesitating. It's almost like he's doing a little bit of a fake juke move, but obviously you can see, he's here and Subhash is about to hit the ball. So that is a really rough situation. And I don't know if he, maybe perhaps he meant to hit the ball in a different location. And then because he didn't hit it where he wanted to, he decided to retreat. But I think either way, you really got to commit, once you make that move forward. So the lesson for this point is to commit to the approach shot. Don't hesitate and then lose time as a result. So let's take a look at this one more time. We've got the short ball. Due to the spacing here, I would probably hit a inside out, because then the ball will be also traveling, can travel more away if he's able to produce such a shot and then to go in. But I definitely wouldn't just kind of, do this hesitation move and then move back. So, just a lesson to really make the decision and then go with it. And I just want to take a quick second to encourage you to subscribe to the Tennis Files YouTube channel, to hit a like on this video if you're enjoying this video and enjoying the channel, and to hit that notification bell icon as well, because if you do these things that'll take you less than a second, then you will get notified anytime and every time that I publish a YouTube video. So I really would appreciate the like and subscribes. It would really help the channel out a lot, and then notification bell will trigger notifications to you every time I publish videos. So thanks a lot for that. Now let's get back to the video. All right, let's run this point forward first, and then we'll make some comments. All right, pretty short point. Just a couple points for me to make here. So, all right. So there are a lot of good things and maybe one not so great thing. So we've got the good serve here. As you can see, we got the short slice. So obviously you take note of that and you probably serve a lot more down the tee serves here against this type of opponent. And so now we get the forehand approach, and I just don't like the choice here because, you can easily go, and you just seen that the player, granted it's off a serve, but you can see the player has hit a short, kind of weak slice, backhand slice. So why not go to the same shot of your opponent that has just yielded a fairly weak shot and approach, and then be in a great position where you can then obviously cover the line and then cover the cross court, and you're facing a running backhand here, which is the toughest shot, one of the toughest shots in the game, maybe besides the backhand overhead. But I digress. So instead, Subhash goes for the cross court, and now you're giving the player a forehand, and he's in a relatively good position and balance as well. He's certainly not really on the run here. As you can see, he's only taken a couple steps from where he initially was. He was here, and then he's just had to move here. A little bit of movement, but certainly not as much as if he would have had to sprint for the backhand. And so he's got a wide open court. Yum, yum. So unfortunately for him, he misses the shot. So good result overall for Subhash. But, if we take a look again at what's going on here, we've got the nice court here to go to. Pretty good chance it's a winner, or it's a really weak backhand slice reply reaching. But instead, as I talked a little bit about in the previous video, actually twice, those players, they went for like the tricky shot, thinking that this player would run to this side, and then, he'd just trick them and hit the other side to a winner. But instead, a lot of times the players just kind of hang out in the middle where they are, and then decide where to go based on where the ball is going. So here, obviously, it was a very makeable shot. to the stronger side. So you don't want to do that. You mostly want to approach to the open court and down the line, unless your opponent has a much weaker shot on a particular side. But certainly this is not the weaker shot for the opponent either. So the lesson here is to approach down the line when the court is wide open. All right, let's let point 6 run out. All right, so you see here a unsuccessful approach. So let's run it forward and make a few comments. Nice serve. So again, we see a little bit of hesitation here in the approach shot. And also, could have been a little more far forward. Let's push it back a little more. So we got a nice serve. And then here, so I think a couple things. I think that the player should have been moving up more aggressively. It's kind of like, this is kind of a waiting type of shot here. You've got the serve. And then, the player, is interesting to note too, he was actually more forward into the court. He had hit an offensive serve, and I guess maybe because he saw the loading nature of Subashi, maybe he decided, I should move back a little bit, but that kind of cost him a little bit, and then he takes that move back there. So I would have been a little more aggressive with my movement and to move toward the ball. As soon as you see that type of shorter shot, you're going to move up. But anyway, so you see the approach shot is, and I don't know 100% if he was intending it to be an approach shot from the very outset, but he hits this shot from like right here, which is right by the baseline, and then he decides to come in, and so then he has a very, very tough volley to hit. And he's look how far back he is, when he would be possibly hitting that first volley. So, I think that the lesson here is when you approach the net when you're too far back, that'll give your opponent an easier passing shot. So, I would have, like I said, I would have been a little more aggressive with my anticipation of the backhand, and then, moved up some, and then hit that forehand, probably to the open court, because if I was up here, I know that I would have cut off a little bit of time from my opponent as well and made contact a little sooner than what was done here. Go to the corner and then run forward and make sure to cover the appropriate spots. Depending on Subash's positioning, if he was a little bit more on top of the ball, by the time he made contact, I probably would be wary of the cross court. But if he was really running at full speed, then I would be more covering the down the line. And but as a result, you see his positioning when there's contact with the ball, it's like really far back. So that's just overall, you want to be able to approach the net off of a short ball and, be more inside of the court and be in a more offensive position, so that when you do get that volley, you're not hitting a half volley, you're hitting a more standard volley. This is tough shot, plenty of time, court's way open, so you want to set yourself up to be in a more offensive position. All right, let's run this point, and then we'll talk about it. So there you go. So That is in stark contrast to, I think, a couple points ago where we were talking about how we should be approaching down the line. So I'm glad that there is an example of a successful play of that nature. So you've got and it's interesting, you got to pick up on these things when you're hitting, like Subhash didn't hit some sort of amazing serve to the backhand, and yet he again still yields this short backhand slice reply, which you got to take the mental note. And then, he hits a good backhand, forces the running slice that's short. And instead of last time, hitting some sort of cross-court trickiness, the opponent is here. I think he was a little more to the right in the previous point even. And so the opponent's here. And then Subhash hits the down-the-line approach shot. It's a winner. And it's interesting to know too that the player here actually seemed like the first move was to this side, like he was anticipating another cross court. So that's that. I don't know. That's interesting. Maybe Subhash did that even more in the match. But so by hitting the standard down the line, high percentage shot where you're in good position versus giving the player the open court to hit the forehand, Subhash was very successful and won the point. So that's a lesson, again, to play the percentages when hitting your approach shots. All right, let's run this last point back. 6-all on the tiebreak. So that's a nicely done point in the tiebreaker, no less. And it's interesting because I've seen Subhash be more passive in I guess, match point or 6-all. I wasn't sure because I saw at the end of this video it said that he won 7-6. Oh, I guess maybe 7-6 was the tiebreak, obviously. The set score. However, there was no point after this, so I don't know if this was the final point or maybe the second to last point. Maybe he won 8-6 in the tiebreak. But anyway, I digress one last time, but let's take a look. So obviously pressure point, it starts fairly conservative, but there's some nice forehands here, going to the well, going to that backhand, very smart. And then we've got a backhand by Subhash. And now I really like this. Okay, so Subhash, he recognizes a short ball. He moves up and he hits actually a great backhand. You don't have to even aim that close, obviously, but he hits an excellent, deep cross-court backhand that really coughs up that short ball. And so then he moves up. And here he obviously has a multitude of choices. And, I don't mind too much in this particular scenario where Subhash ends up hitting that forehand cross court here. But what is essential what helps so much is that Subhash has the ability to hit that cross court short angle spin so that it's going away from the opponent. If he had hit a straight flat drive, it wouldn't have been veering as far off, and then the opponent would have had the opportunity to actually make contact with the ball, a higher chance of that at least. But instead, Subhash hits that very spinny ball, and and he really needed it because you see, even at this point, he almost made contact, even though it would have been a very tough shot. The lesson here is to hit deep approach shots to your opponent's weaker shot because, let's imagine this was a true approach shot. You're making this individual hit a deep ball with his weakest shot, and then because of that, you're getting, a ball that you can really take advantage of like that. So, that's the lesson, but also relatedly, it's really important again to anticipate when the ball is going to be short, and then to take advantage of these shots. And you see Subhash, boom, he's going up and he takes advantage. There are other points, like I said, you just hang out, it's a short ball, you just chill here and you hit it and nothing happens. Instead, you take advantage and the point is over in 2 more shots. So well done with this very important point at 6-all in the tiebreak.
Now I've got a great bonus tip for you. Now you really want to pay attention to the visual cues that you get from your opponents. Are they off balance? Are they reaching for the ball, or are they leaning back? If you see these things, then you should immediately step forward into the court and look for an opportunity to attack and get to the net. Don't let your advantage in the point go to waste unless you really like playing marathon points and don't care much about winning, which is probably and hopefully very few of you. Now that wouldn't be a very smart approach, pun intended. Now if you enjoyed this tennis lesson, please like this video, I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel, and also hit the notification bell icon so that you're notified whenever I publish new videos instantly. Now quote of the day, things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. Now, I don't know who said that quote, but it is a very good one. And what it means is that you really need to take advantage of opportunities in life and in tennis, like short balls, and seize the advantage. Now, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video. Peace.